We're joined by Roger Eli. How are you, Roger? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, glad to be on board.
No, fantastic. Obviously, the big thing when you look at your career is your cult status at Burnley. You had two fantastic seasons there. What are your memories of your time at Turf Moor?
Well, obviously before that I'd struggled basically through injury, and it was nice to find a home at Turf Moor. Burnley's a fantastic family club. I think I had half a season, and then everything clicked into place. Really, the supporters warmed to me. It's just one of those places that, as a professional footballer, it's just fantastic to play in front of a crowd that's so passionate.
I've been to Turf Moor, and it's quite an enclosed ground, isn't it? So the crowd is quite close to the pitch, and you can, I would imagine anyway, you can hear what the fans are saying, and it's quite clear. And
Yeah, to be honest, that's one of the driving factors, really. I should imagine anybody who's played for Burnley or played against Burnley, you understand that the supporters are right on top of you. For me, it was driven in terms of, I wanted to do well for the supporters, because they've looked at me, they looked at me, they like what they've seen, and basically I just wanted to put everything in for them. It's just, it's just one of those grounds. It's just a wonderful place to play.
obviously, what memories do you have of? Do you remember it clearly scoring against Peter Shilton? I know we've had a couple of other guests on when we've asked them about previous goals, and they've had quite a clear memory of it. Can you still remember exactly what happened when you scored that header against Peter Shilton?
Yeah, it's one of those memories that will never leave me. I mean, obviously he were great in his time with Peter Shilton. I mean, we were trailing. I think there might have been about 20 minutes. 20 minutes left of the game, and we'd done really well. We played well. We'd matched Derby. And I remember just to break down the left-hand side, and to be honest, it's one of those moves that you do in training every single day. You try to hit the near post. I think Mike Conroy, the twin striker, cross the ball, and basically, if you make the run and try and get some part of your body to it, you've got half a chance of scoring. Yeah. And luckily, it went ahead.
So after obviously a couple of good seasons at Burnley, you won the fans over. You struggled with injuries again. I mean, how badly did they affect you from a personal point of view? Was it difficult to sort of keep the morale up?
It was. When you go into football, you think that you only, as a youngster, you only see that you're going to one day play in back then it was the first division. Yeah. You're going to earn money, you're going to enjoy, and then you're going to retire. And maybe Eamon Andrews might come knocking on your door. You totally forget about every other aspect. But for me, at age 17 was picking up a knee injury, and to be honest, that really did set me back. But I managed to scrape around, get a few years out of it, and lots of good memories, basically.
Yeah. I mean, you had quite a long career, as you say. You 13 years, I think. Looking at the facts and the figures, played for a couple of big clubs, Leeds and Crewe, early on in your career.
Yeah.
Did you ever want to go into the coaching side of it? I know you've now got your own company, but when you retired, did you ever want to become a coach or a manager?
No, it's something that it never interested me. In terms of me actually delivering a session, I'm interested in basically how kids develop, and it always surprises me that we need somebody to coach, and we don't let them go and develop themselves, basically. In terms of no, not really. I'd always wanted to do the business side of it, but I am, like I said, I am interested. It's mainly on the kids' side and what they're getting taught, basically, these days.
Yeah, no, our first couple of episodes were around grassroots football and things like that. We had a guest on who said that there weren't enough coaches at grassroots football. I mean, judging by what you said, you might feel the same way.
Well, I do a fair bit with grassroots football. I mean, what I try to do with the kids is just try to encourage them and try to let them express themselves, because I think there's a time and a place when they should be doing basically team play. But you know, the first years in football, they should be enjoying it.
Yeah.
And I actually don't. I don't think a lot of them do these days.
Yeah, that's what was mentioned on our first couple. There's a lot about winning from the start, instead of, like you say, building up team play and enjoyment of the sport, and wanting to turn up on a Sunday and to training and things. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of open the floor to the other guys, because I know there's 3 other guys with me on the podcast tonight, and I know they've got some questions for you, Roger.
All right, great.
So over to you guys. You can take it in turns, or you can jump over each other, whichever way pleases you.
Hi, Roger. Sorry.
Hello. Hi.
Yeah, I just wanted to actually touch on your schoolboy career. It was at Nottingham Forest during the Brian Clough years. I just wanted to know any experiences that stick out in your mind from those days. Did you meet the great man yourself? Anything stick out that you remember? A little story or anything?
Yeah, I mean the beauty of football back then. You had schoolboy forms, and we used to. I found the schoolboy forms, and we used to go down to Nottingham, and basically you were an extension of. You basically helped out the apprentices once you were down there, and Mr. Clough around the place. A very scary character, but absolutely brilliant. Instilled discipline in and around the place, and then I was fortunate enough to go with the youth team at 15 over to Italy, where he took the team, and I mean that were a total eye-opening experience. I was used to the games teacher taking me for school football and to the county and so on, but here I had Brian Clough, European Cup winner twice over. It was just absolutely fantastic.
You mentioned there the idea back in the day there that the schoolboy teams were essentially an extension of the club. Do you actually think that's gone missing from the game now, with the formation of under 12s, under 15s, under 18s, and this separation of leagues? And do you think players need to spend more time around the older professionals from that age?
I think certainly, because one thing that sticks out in my mind is that you never walked around the city ground in training shoes. You were always smart. You were expected to be smart. So there were a lot of discipline around there. For a guy who was 14 and 15, after a game, I was picking up empty cartons, clearing cups of tea, sweeping changing rooms out. Now, to me, I know things have changed. I know people have changed, but I think it's a very good grounding for, certainly for a career in football. Basically, the career in anything.
Yeah, discipline goes a long way. I think it's something that. Certainly we've discussed it in the past on the podcasts, and you see it across a lot of forums. People find that the modern day footballer maybe isn't as grounded from a young age, and that can be a problem, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it is a shame. I mean, to be honest, the people who put the rules, regulations in place, for whatever reason, discipline has gone. You can see it in 1 or 2 players. They get money. They get lots of money these days, and it's being able to handle that. And my argument is that the paying public these days, they have to respect them, because money's hard to come by these days. People who sit in those stands, they're the lifeblood of the game now. Once they've gone, there's lots of big money men who are owners of clubs, but if you haven't got an audience, football's nothing.
Brilliant. That's my questions there. Anyone else? Thanks for that,
okay.
Roger.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Roger. It's Chris.
Hiya, Chris.
Hi. I read that you supported Leeds growing up. So was it a proud moment when you signed for them?
Yeah, I was a massive Leeds United supporter as a child. It was incredible. Yeah, I mean, thinking about it now, the hairs are standing at the back of my head. I mean, everything was white for me, basically. I used to, every kit that I had was just plain white. Yeah, Leeds United was the team that I wouldn't have said that I wanted to play for. It was just I suppose it was just a dream, to actually go down to the ground. And the first day as an apprentice, Don Revie had come in to see Eddie Gray. It was actually Eddie Gray's first day, and that just capped it all for me. He wished me all the best, and to get something like that from a legendary manager, it's just absolutely brilliant.
I read that you played in China for a bit. How did that come about, and what experiences?
I did. I had a couple of good seasons at Burnley, and then I got injured. Unfortunately, I was out for a good 4 or 5 months. I got myself fit again. The clubs wanted to sign me, and before I'd gone to Burnley, I was basically having to, travel around, and I'd just had enough. I'd had enough. And I'd sent a DVD, not a video back then. I sent a video to an agent who sorted me out. He'd liked what he'd seen, and basically, I went over there, which was a fantastic experience. And it's one thing that I'd say to anybody, any kid that gets released, go try somewhere else. There's lots of countries out there. They all play football. Lots of kids just seem to want the bright lights of the Premiership or the Football League.
Can I just touch, on your time at Leeds, and obviously the time during your career, during the 80s, obviously, racism was quite a massive thing in football, for a young black player coming up through. How bad did you find it during your time at places like Ellen Road and then eventually Turf Moor?
Well, to be honest, at Ellen Road, if I was to explain it, you wouldn't believe. For a club that I actually loved, there were guys like there were Terry Connor round at the time, and there were Terry Phelan. It just makes you wonder whether the club was actually, the supporters or a section of the supporters were actually racist, or it was just a cult thing, basically. It probably couldn't get any worse. Some of the chants, some of the basically uniforms they used to wear, they used to stand on the seats and do the Hitler salutes. It was worrying. It was very worrying. But having said that, there were lots of my friends doing that. Guys that I'd grown up with at school, doing that. So whether they were racist or it was just something that they'd grown into, basically, it wasn't nice.
Yeah.
Definitely wasn't.
Now, I was reading that you used to take taxis home from Ellen Road.
Yeah. Well, like I said earlier, same at as at Nottingham Forest, we used to do the jobs at Ellen Road. And usually, the first couple of times, I'd realise that I'd have to get a bus from Leeds and then into the city centre and then jump on the train. But, the Leeds supporters were all around there, so basically I'd be spending my apprenticeship wages on taxis home. Yeah. It was just basically, as a young black player, you try to remove yourself from there. There was one experience, myself and Terry Phelan went down to Grimsby to watch the first team, and that was the most terrifying experience. That we were in a stand with a whole load of Leeds supporters. There were the old Grimsby player Tony Ford playing, and every time Tony touched the ball, there were just see Kyle chants. And me and Terry, I remember, we just sat in the corner, not knowing where to put ourselves. So the thing is that had Leeds United fans been racist, the target is us. I think it's just basically a lot of just trying to put black players off. It's not nice, it's not right, but I think that was just the times, basically.
No, thank you for answering that.
Okay, that's fine.
I'll throw it back open to Chris because I know he was in full flow.
Hiya. We've had a couple of questions in from our forum.
Okay.
So Nick Davey asked, "What are your hopes for Burnley next season?"
I'd like to see Burnley getting certainly in the playoffs. It'll be tough. It's a really tough league. There's lots of clubs with money there. But the beauty of it, Burnley have got Charlie Austin. If they can keep hold of him, if he can get 35 goals next season, Burnley won't be far away.
Yeah. And Ollie from our forum asked, "Roger, who is the best manager you played under?"
you know what? There's been a total cross-section of managers. The manager I learned the most from was definitely Eddie Gray. In terms of, he taught us how to work hard, the work ethic. Being a junior, we weren't players back then. We had a fantastic youth team. We weren't players that after training we did as jobs, or when we were young pros we came in on the days off. We stayed afterwards to work on our techniques, and this was instilled by Eddie Gray. You probably wouldn't get a manager like him today. He would, instead of, he had his duties in his manager's office, he'd come out, he'd see us doing a crossbar challenge, he'd walk across in his kit and he'd join us for an hour or two, and this is a memory that it'll always stick in my mind, because basically we're there to play football, and Eddie Gray was there to play football, there to manage football, and he used to instill that work ethic, that technique, coaching into the guys that you need to always try to improve. And I've got to say it's Eddie Gray, but across Frank Casper was very similar. Jimmy Mullen had his good points. There's been quite a few. I can't remember how many managers I've had, but I try to take a bit from all of them. But Eddie Gray's definitely got to be the one.
Could I just sneak in, Roger and Chris, if that's okay?
Yep, that's fine.
I was just going to ask a quick one, basically. Which player, past or present, would you have loved to have played with, or that you didn't get a chance to play with? Sorry, past or present, that you would have loved to have played with?
Well, definitely past player. John Sheridan at Leeds. I'm sure you can all remember him. I mean, I've got to say he's arguably the best player I have ever played with and ever seen. When I say played, I played with him in the youth and the reserves. When John were in the reserves, but obviously he got elevated to the first team. Now, I saw Johnny Giles as a kid. Now, they used to resemble John Sheridan and Johnny Giles together. Now, if you could have got them two in the same side, Leeds United would have been unbeatable. John Sheridan, I'd have loved to have gone a full season basically playing in midfield with him. I got one chance at Brighton in the first team. I just wish I'd formed some sort of partnership with John, because he was absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
Okay.
About your book, I read a proper good description about it today. It was a proper football story. What happens when dreams don't quite come true?
Yeah. Well, do you know what? I wrote that book, and one thing I'd like to think that the book will never go out of, if you like, the style will never change, because you could be an athlete, you could be a cricket player. You dream as a footballer, you want to be a success. Now, it's like I said earlier, you only see football. From coming through school and then, getting the chance to play, you don't see all the other side issues. And there is a lot of side issues. Some players come through it, some other players just can't. And unfortunately, it happened to me a lot, but I was just so privileged that I got the chance to make a name for myself over a period of time where I didn't get the injuries and proved that I could play. Without Burnley, it would have been very difficult to actually, to take, basically.
Yeah, actually, I'll just jump in there, Roger, if you don't mind. And just you touched on it there. You're of the belief that your years with Burnley, they really made your career what it was. Would you change those 2 seasons, where you became a cult hero, for a longer career, but maybe not getting that cult hero status?
Well, there's lots of players who've had a long career, and I'm not knocking those players. Do you know what? I wouldn't have swapped my time at Burnley for anything. Of course, yeah, I would have liked England camps. I would have liked to have played for Leeds United, but that didn't happen. But what happened at Burnley for me, to play in front of, at times there were 20,000 at Turf Moor, 20,000 vibrant Claret supporters. We had some fantastic games against Blackpool. We had some great times there, and to actually get a championship medal, it was a 4th division championship medal, but there's lots of players that don't get anything. I got something out of it. I've got some fantastic memories. I wouldn't change that for the world, because I'd still like to think that like Burnley's my home, and I've got a lot of love for the supporters.
I think that's a great point to sort of end this week's interview, Roger. I mean, you've hit the nail on the head that the supporters are probably everything in football, and you've got great respect from the guys at Burnley, and they are great fans. And so when I went to Turf Moor, they were brilliant, and I'm a Wrexham follower, so whenever I come to Wrexham, they've always been a great group of guys.
Yeah.
I'm sure that we'd have you back on in the future. I'm sure the other guys will agree with me with that as well.
Right, good.
Yeah, thanks, Roger.
Okay, brilliant.
Hopefully you'll come back on in the future. But
okay.
Pleasure to talk to you tonight, Roger. Thanks very much for your time.
I've enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Okay, bye-bye.